it there anyway.
I think that might be okay.
Well, we just maybe see our hands.
Yes.
You know, do this guy, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I just got so many questions. I mean, well, I don't know if I'm really gonna be involved in the organisation of this thing or not. Sonia was anxious to sort of transfer the idea we had together into this situation. And I mean, me, I'm not sure because I'm not sure exactly what sort of show it should be. Should it be a group show, or should it just be about you and me?
Well, I think there's more to it than just this, because artwork by accident is something that this idea I came up with ties in with, because there's also people who've just made things about things that happened in their lives that were accidents. I was just thinking about artworks that were, when they were still at whatever stage of their production or any outlet they were given, there was some change, often for the worse, like interpersonal, funding, problems with the public, the law, the government, or even just the weather or accidents or negligence. And that's somehow deliberately used in the work, maybe completely changing its meaning, or at least its quality or appearance. Or at least one other work or project is made from it. Or even in some people's cases, like Kurt becoming a wine merchant, or Image Bank giving up on being artists and becoming this sort of library of images.
It's a fact of life, and like in the case of Kurt, like I was wondering about that because.
Have you met him?
I have very briefly when he was in Berlin.
You've not visited his house in Van Huygaard Plain in Brussels?
No. Why?
Oh, it looks like it's been in his family for generations. Oh yeah, yes.
It's like I kind of see different types of accident, and I respect your. I think it's an amazing list of things.
Yeah.
And it does hang together.
It wasn't so easy. The ideas as often just came to me, but following it up, even just getting everything alphabetical, improving on my big statements that just came to me like that, wasn't so okay, it's like that with everything. But I mean, even I was just thinking about like Armand, whose real name is Armand Fernandez, but then one day saw they got his name wrong. They just said Armand, they left out the D, so he thought, I won't call myself Armand Fernandez, just Armand. And, or Bruttires, the first ever print and one of the very first works he did. I suspect he had no ideas for this folio of prints, which was otherwise sort of Cobra or informel or tachiste artists. I remember it was a pretty long list of names like Alachinsky.
Oh really?
All these like European, very gestural, but sometimes more creative or representational, figurative artists. And he found on the prospectus they'd missed out the D and the T and I think the H in the middle of his name, Bruttires. So he tore that out, emphasised it and corrected it, and that was photographically reproduced. I don't know about what else was in this folio, whether they were like reproductions or proper lifos or whatever, and that was his contribution.
To me that seems somehow...
And then there's this other thing about him and Izzy Fishman.
Yeah, I think this is really interesting.
But I don't know what this work... I think it was Wide White Space in Antwerp that was shown. Right. Izzy Fishman owns a lot of old Panamarenkos, which although he's sold, whoever bought them has to allow them to be on view in the Mukat or in Schmack, or probably the Koinalik in Brussels. He deliberately smashed up an artwork and then it was crudely repaired with varnish and resin and paint and glue and whatnot, and counted as a new work. I do have some books or documents, or there's things I can get hold on internet. And some things wouldn't be too difficult to borrow or get copies of from galleries, like this Jake and Dee. I lost contact with her, but I know one of the older women. I used to know one of the older women who was in this video that the Chaplins did. This woman called Swan. Because you know this Italian dealer either ditched an idea they had for a show or said they had to change it, it was just too extreme. So they decapitated this sculpture they'd made of Mummy and Daddy Chaplin, with like two department store dummies with genitals all over them and a dick and a chin and a nose, and gave the head to this, there was a young woman and this older woman who I have actually met. Her boyfriend, who was much younger than her, was a technician from Chaplin's. They live on Raven and Swan, lived in Southend, but I don't know where or what. I've tried looking them up where they are now. And she was, I think, a poet, quite a damaged person. She'd been abused as a child. And quite late, you know, in her 40s, she got into pornography. And she and this younger woman did all these very dirty things, either for real or just routine porn, using this head, the godemiche with the phalluses on it.
I like the idea that that really seems like a big act. It's like something you couldn't foresee. I like the one on the list that...
It's all a bit like the show must go on.
Yeah.
Or, I cannot come up with a name for
where
this, but I'm thinking of put to good use.
Tell me what?
I suppose so, yeah.
The show must go on, or put to good use.
I said I'll go from
Or with a vengeance, or...
Well, some of the things are about revenge, or getting your own back on
Oh, like Robert Morris?
Yeah.
Because someone wouldn't pay...
I think the Robert Morris one's quite good as well.
Well, it's interesting. His original work, Litanies, a bunch of keys and the impacts, they and the wind and chords, and the fact the keys have got these Duchampian quotes or references engraved on them. That's just another example of his work and or work from his time, that time. But his work he made, like the shirt off his back, the Philip Morris Johnson wouldn't pay him for it. Almost, there'd be a lot more interest in that now as an early example of conceptual art. You know, getting a legal document, presenting it like exhibits in a legal case, a front and side diagram of the original artwork and saying it's now got no aesthetic. Statement of aesthetic
What I think is you should keep your proposal together and keep working on it. But in a sense we should make like a documentation, it's like a capsule version of a masterful show.
Yeah.
Which is your work and your curatorial project. But I was thinking it's more fun if you're presenting in this show in the commissariat, because it will necessarily be incomplete.
Yeah, so it's work in progress.
It'll be work in progress.
It's like an archive or a dossier.
More like an archive.
Yeah.
But it might be nice, instead of like to show a few objects from the slips, there's like a wider illustration. Either that, or we invite other artists in who are not on models, and who fit the concept. Perhaps, something happens. I think,
and it is somehow rather opportunistically included in the work anyway, or another work is made, or it even leads to a whole change of direction.
Yeah, perhaps a better or more interesting piece of work. Like in the case of Robert Morris, like For Our Eyes Today, the consequences of this are more interesting.
And they're both in the Museum of Modern Art now.
the time.
And both at the time had questionable art.